Hi, everybody. Stitch Cafe here. So, I want to do a response to Honest Teacher Vibes. My heart goes out to her with what she has had to go through being a teacher. I can tell she truly has a passion for what she does, but unfortunately, due to the way our culture has evolved over the several years, that she just had to do what was best for her and her mental health and for her family and for her safety. Um, I feel really compelled to do my own video in response to that. So, one, I'm a product of the public school system. I went to a public school in Indiana, had a very well rounded education from elementary school, junior high, high school, even through high school years. Um, we did not have the disciplinary problems that we have today in the system. Um, I don't know why we do today. Um, I'll talk about that later on. Um, so I went to college to be a teacher. I went to a Christian school, Christian college, university, and I majored in elementary education. And when I did my student teaching, we had a few issues, but nothing still like we see today in the classroom. Class sizes in the early 2000s were maybe 20 kids, 22, and then it just has ballooned in size. Um, I graduated from college in 2000 and I joined the military. And the teaching skills that I learned in college to be a teacher, I took with me into the military. I'm training young airmen, even civilians and contractors. Um, so those teacher skills I learned, I was able to carry over for 20 years in the military. Now, I do have two children, and being a parent, I had to put my children in the public school system because private school is expensive. So the public school system today is broken. It's not the same that it was 20 years ago. The classes are huge. One teacher to teach 25 or up students in the class is ridiculous. The teacher is no longer teaching. They are then doing crowd control, behavioral management, and it's ridiculous. And how do you fix that? I don't know. I don't think anybody in this country truly has an answer on how to fix that. Um, my son was in public school and had an IEP, and I, for one, know my son is not an angel, and so I knew there were some other issues there, but I knew he had educational needs too. Um, so that's a whole different issue. And I feel for teachers who have to deal with IEPs on top of their regular lesson plans and what the state wants them to do and the tests these kids have to take. And I feel like teachers really aren't teaching anymore. They're given this monstrous checklist of things that the school system wants them to do. And my heart truly goes out for them because most teachers become teachers to teach, to see that child's face light up when they, oh, I got it. I understand what you're trying to teach me. Um, so when I got close to the end of my military career, I did a internship back in the public schools because I didn't know if I truly wanted to go back to that profession or not. Being 20 years in the military, I truly loved what I did in the military. That's a whole different conversation. But being back in the classroom 20 years later, from my early 20s to then in my 40s, once again, my heart goes out to these teachers. It is unreal what they have to deal with. The classes are cramped, the desks are cramped. Honestly, it's a safety hazard. If a fire would break out, you would have kids tripping over desks, teachers tripping over desks. Heaven forbid, an active shooter came in. You have 30 kids to one teacher, and that one teacher is supposed to protect 30 kids in case of a fire, tornado, active shooter. It's not feasible. Um, I can't put into words my emotions that I feel for all the teachers from preschool, elementary, junior high, high school, even in colleges, because we have created a generation of kids that, oh, you can't touch me. Well, eventually somebody is going to touch them and it's going to be bad. And I'm talking about not touching inappropriately. I'm talking about trying to discipline them to do what they need to do in a classroom environment. So fast forward. So yes, I am a teacher. I am an educator, always have been. So I do teach. I teach a third and fourth grade class. Do I have the problems that my public school counterparts have? No. But in a class of maybe a handful of kids, I do have one or two that do push the limits. Um, I think with my generation growing up, parents and teachers would hold the child accountable. It wasn't like, oh, it's my fault. It's the child needs to take accountability for what they are doing in the class. And that is what we have lost today. There was no accountability put back on the child. And unfortunately, I think we have crossed a bridge where parents are so scared of their child, I'm going to call CPS on you, or I'm going to call the cops on you. And because parents are scared of having their kids taken away, we have lost disciplining our children and instilling that to respect authority, to respect teachers, to respect police, and anybody in a position of authority. And how do we fix this? Honestly, I don't know. And Honest Teacher Vibes is correct. There is no one answer. The past 20 years, our society has created a culture or a group of individuals that think you can't touch me. I'm going to do whatever I want. And there are consequences for those group of kids who think, I'm going to do whatever I want. So, those are my thoughts on education. Um, I'm not really sure how to fix this. I do know what I have seen is that parents who can either afford a private education for their kids are putting their children in private school, or parents who can afford to buy workbooks and curriculum are homeschooling their kids because they are done putting their child in a unsafe environment and unhealthy environment, whether that be mentally, physically, emotionally unsafe for them in the public school system. I do believe there are good teachers out there. I believe there's good administrators out there who truly love and have a passion for what they do. But if we, like I said, there's no one answer, and this video is spur of the moment. I just want to reach out to Honest Teacher Vibes and say, I get it. I truly get it. And there comes a point where you have to think about yourself and walk away. And I'm sure you will find something else to do. So if you have stayed with me this long in this video rant, thank you. And say thank you to a teacher. Unless you are in that classroom and you are seeing it firsthand, you really have no idea what it's like. No idea. My fellow teachers out there, you're doing an awesome job. Keep up the good work. Stitch Cafe out.